pirate hunt. I sat in my F7C Super Hornet, one of the rarest, meanest ships in the verse, a true powerhouse, built for pilots who lived for the thrill. Every bolt, every panel, every weapon was designed for one purpose: domination. And right now, mine was silent. Engines off, shields down, guns cold. My signature barely registered, a ghost lurking in the dark. I watched through the canopy, my eyes locked on the Hull A, our bait. A slow-moving hauler packed with 30 SU of refined gold gliding towards Pyro 4 like a lost lamb. All I had to do was wait for the wolves to show up. I exhaled, glancing left. The nebula stretched across the void, an ocean of yellow and purple, swallowing distant stars. Absolutely breathtaking. No matter how many hours I spent out here, space always had a way of reminding me how small I really was. The cockpit felt cozy. Dim indicator lights pulsing in a slow, steady rhythm. It was almost peaceful. Almost. But my gut told me this wouldn't last. I checked my display, hydrogen fuel, 35%. I have to call it soon. Can't risk getting stranded out here. My top turret was modified for Tracker 2 rocket, courtesy of my good friend Adrian. A custom job. Still, something felt off. Maybe it was the silence. Maybe it was the fact that the trap was too perfect. But then again, I wasn't dealing with some Crusader fleet admiral. These were pirates, greedy, reckless, predictable. I leaned back in my seat, fingers tapping lightly on the throttle. Come on, take the bait. And then, just for a second, I saw movement on my radar. Showtime. I ran the plan through my head again. The one I put together after meeting with Antel at Gaslight Station 2 days ago. He ran the cargo bay facilities there, but on the side, he managed trade routes, moving goods through some of the roughest parts of Pyro. Last week, one of his Mercury Star runners was ambushed. Most likely a rogue group of pirates setting up shop in the area. Who else would dare mess with Antel's routes? He was well known, respected, even feared in these parts. The MSR that got hit was carrying medicine and stash of illegal drugs. But that wasn't what made it valuable. The real price was in the servers. Whatever data was locked inside, someone wanted it bad. And that's why I stood to make a very good payday, if I could recover, or at the very least destroy the ship. I needed the money, my base of operations wasn't going to build itself. My thoughts were cut short by my radar. Something was dropping out of quantum. My muscles tensed and I sat up, eyes locked on the screen. 5 seconds later, 2 cutlasses entered the scene, heading straight for the Hull A. I exhaled sharply and sent an encrypted message to the hauler. Phoenix, get ready. Full shields. The pirates were closing in fast. The Drake Cutlass. Big engine, solid armor, plenty of cargo space. A favorite among haulers, bounty hunters, and of course low-life pirates. It wasn't the worst thing to go up against, but 2 of them? This was about to get interesting. Phoenix, you have to hold them off. I sent another message. For now, it was one-way communication. I wouldn't reveal myself until the time was right. The comms crackled and the gruff voice cut through. What do we have here? Drop your shields and don't try to run. Have an interdiction device. Phoenix was in danger, I knew it. It's time. Hit it, I order over comms. Hull A responded instantly, activating its own QED, Quantum Enforcement Device. The battlefield had just changed. I flicked the panel, routing full power to engines, diverting some to shields and weapons. Then I punched the throttle. Super Hornet roared to life. G-forces slamming me back into my seat as I accelerated hard. At 15 kilometers out, I knew I would pop up on their radars any second. What the hell? How does he have QED? One of the pirates shouted over comms, their confusion spilling through the static. They had figured it out. It was an ambush. The cutlasses adjusted immediately, opening fire on Hull A. Phoenix's shields flared, absorbing the first wave of laser blasts. Feel the power! One of the pirates screamed. giddy with the thrill of the attack. 6 kilometers, I flipped power to guns. They were so focused on hammering the hauler they still hadn't noticed me. Rookie mistake. You would be surprised how often that happens, I thought to myself, lining up the shot. Right behind you, I said overcome, squeezing the trigger. Cutlass felt my power. 2 size 4s and 4 size 3s attritions tore into its shield. Some of the finest weapons money could buy in Stanton. And thanks to Adrian, my mechanic, they packed even more punch, upgraded with larger capacitors and a little extra bite. The pirates turned their attention to me. They knew they were in big trouble. My Super Hornet was built for this. I pulled my nose up, flying in a tight attack cone, close and fast. My round slammed into the Cutlass on the left, stripping its shields. Fire burst from its left engine and I could see it struggling, torque imbalance making it harder to control. Second pirate panicked and ran, leaving his partner behind. Everything was going according to plan. I unleashed another burst of shots, tearing through the crippled Cutlass's left engine, blowing it clean off. Then I turned my attention to the fleeing ship, now 3 kilometers out. I armed my level 2s, a special gift from Adrian. 2 missiles streaked towards the retreating Cutlass. The pilot shot out flares at 500 meters, but a direct hit wasn't needed. Both missiles detonated in its wake, showering the ship with ballistic shrapnel. Fragments punched straight through its shields, burrowing into the hull. More importantly, my secret weapon had landed, a small nano-beacon securely latched into the raider's frame. There was no point chasing him. Everyone knew Cutlass engines were beasts, too fast to catch. Sure enough, as soon as he cleared Hull A's QED range, he spooled up and jumped to the Quantum. Phoenix and I turned our attention back to the remaining Cutlass. The pirate had stopped firing, his ship just drifted. Defeated. We secured the pilot. 45 minutes later, the signal from nano-beacon was triangulated. Just as I suspected, the pirate base was on Pyro 4. I flew low and fast, skimming just above the rocky terrain as I approached the coordinates. The salvage base was nestled deep inside a massive crater, hidden from casual scans. The sun was setting, casting lone shadows across the landscape. Under my wings of my Hornet 2 size 6 torpedoes sat armed. Another optional modification, slow but devastating. I primed one. Then I saw it. The Mercury Star Runner lay on its side, landing gear retracted, half buried in dust and debris. Whatever data it carried needed to be destroyed. That was my prize. My hood blared a warning, a surface-to-air missile locking on. They saw me, too late. Time slowed, every detail sharpening. I caught the shimmering condensation trailing across my cockpit glass, the golden glow of the setting sun reflecting off my fighter's hull. I wanted to keep this clean, no need for bloodshed. That was Antel's call, not mine. Everyone out here had their own way of making money, of feeding their families. Even it meant getting their hands dirty. It wasn't my place to judge. I was here for the Mercury Star Runner. Missiles streaked toward me. I banked hard, diving into the canyon below, skimmed the dried riverbed as I fired off flares. A heartbeat later, the rocket smashed into the canyon wall, erupted in a fireball behind me. I locked onto MSR. One quick breath, I fired. Right wing torpedo launched with a low thud, and the Super Hornet tilted slightly from the release. Onboard thrusters compensated instantly. Heavy projectiles screamed past a nearby structure, closing the distance in seconds. Impact! Explosion consumed the wreck in a fiery bloom, sending the shockwave rippling through the base. The sky ignited in a glorious display of destruction. Mission accomplished, I whispered. Sun deep below the hills, shadows stretching across the crater. I powered down my emissions, lowering the signature until I vanished from every radar. I sent message to Antel. MSR is destroyed, send in coordinates. Your call on what to do with the pirate scum. A minute later, my computer chimed. 200,000 credits received. I transferred 50,000 to Phoenix. A message came through almost instantly. "Pleasure doing business with you, as always." I smirked, banking my Hornet towards the stars. Another job done, another payday earned.